As a child, I think we all experience wanting to be like our parents. And that was me, admiring my charming and devoted father, who happened to graduate from a top university in Japan. Whenever I talked about my father and got "wows" and "reallys" by my Japanese friends, I was proud of him and wanted to be like him. So before I realized it, getting accepted by a prestigious university and building a splendid career has become my life goal. Hi, I'm Hitomi. Today, I'm going to be talking about how I came to realize what happiness means to me as a student and as a human striving to build a path to my future self. By sharing my experience, I hope to encourage students who are struggling to find themselves in their student life and to guide them to a positive change, to a healthier and happier you. In the first year of high school, I was the type of student who got an A+ on every subject. I became part of the school council and was a leader of a coding club. Everything seemed to be going well, and you could say that I was on the fast track. If you knew me back then in person, though, you'd probably know me as the girl who comes to school on time, with bags under her eyes, always forcing a smile despite her lack of sleep. At that time, I was constantly afraid of falling from the status of a top student, and I never had a moment where I could truly feel happy and satisfied. One casual Monday morning, a Japanese teacher who knew me well came up to me and said, "Hitomi, why are you always so majime? I know you're working hard, but I think you're pushing yourself way too much." Now, majime is a Japanese word that means hardworking with a negative nuance of a try-hard and a workaholic. Out of nowhere, tears started flowing out of my eyes. Actually, that wasn't the first time I was called majime. Until that day, whenever people describe me as majime, I did get slightly offended, but I never took them seriously. This time, however, the fact that a person who knew me well described me in such a way forced me to face the truth that people saw something majime in me. I thought that I was more of a humorous and cheerful person, but perhaps I wasn't. In the second year of high school, I became sick. Specifically, I got anxiety disorder. I was both physically and mentally exhausted, and attending school became difficult. At first, I was anxious to think that I was doing nothing in bed while my classmates were studying. But as time went by, those worries were washed away. You know why? My all-time wish of becoming a couch potato finally came true. I can say it was quite a paradise, watching K-dramas until I fell asleep, eating potato chips that I never allowed myself to eat. Until then, I used to think that studying and getting good grades were the only ways to become happy. But I realized there were multiple ways to make myself happy, and that was the moment I started thinking what happiness really meant to me. In Japan, majime people like me are mass-produced, and I believe there are two reasons behind that. The first factor is the social structure that overemphasizes educational background. It is considered to be so important to the point where companies use it to determine our salaries and capabilities. The second factor is the media that perpetuates the importance of educational background. For example, TV broadcasted quiz shows that only invite celebrities with a desirable educational background ingrains the belief that having a good educational background is the only way to become successful in the viewer's mind. This has created a society where our academic levels and careers have become a symbol of success and a key ingredient to determine our value as a person. If we don't go to a college, we're seen as a failure. And if we graduate from a top university, we're considered successful and living a happy life. However, as you can tell from my personal story, having a good educational background doesn't necessarily make you happy, because a happy life looks different for each one of us. Then, how can we create that truly happy life? Well, at the beginning of my attempt to find my own happiness, I used to think that happiness is something that would naturally come to me over time. However, in reality, happiness doesn't come out of the blue unless we make actions on our own. And I believe there are two types of actions we can take: addition and subtraction. Addition is about trying out new habits, activities, or mindsets, and adopting them if they have a long-term positive effect. Subtraction, on the other hand, is about re-evaluating parts of our life, from personal health to friendships, and getting rid of them if they have a negative effect on you. For example, one of the actions I took after getting this anxiety disorder was leaving the competitive school environment, which is the subtraction. This experience has let me rewire my belief that studying my head off will lead to success, and realize that I should be prioritizing my health over anything else. With that healthier mindset, I decided to attend another school with less competition, which is the addition. And by repeatedly subtracting and adding, over time, we will be able to maximize the positives and minimize the negatives in life, which ultimately leads to happiness. So, I want to ask you, is there anything you've done in the past couple of weeks that made you excited? If not, is there anything you'd like to try? Or is there anything you're interested in at the moment, but don't have the courage to do so? If your answers to these questions are no or I don't know, that's okay. So what can I start with? Journaling? Cooking? Are questions you can maybe ask yourself to begin with. At the end of the day, finding that sense of fulfillment may not be the easiest job on the planet. Yet, as I come to the end of my speech, I'd like to once again remind you all that what truly matters is making that effort to create your happy life by taking actions and not blindly accepting the socially constructed norm. My name is Hitomi Nakamura, and I hope my speech has encouraged you all to start your wonderful journey of designing your happy life.